Hey guys, welcome back to Yugioh Everything. Today we are reviewing episode 118 of VRains, the third to final episode of the entire show. So it's kind of sad that that the show is wrapping up. However, I'm still excited to see kind of this conclusion to the Eye and Playmaker duel. Now, if you've watched one of these reviews before on Yugioh Everything, and you're wondering, man, this guy doesn't sound exactly the same as the other guy. Well, that's because I'm not Dylan. It's Pete here. Dylan asked me to step in this week. He's been very busy at work and with other things going on in his life. So I was more than happy to review episode 118. So here I am. So it's an action-packed episode, I would say, as it should, as it's been building up because it's the third to final episode. It was a lot of action and a lot of great dialogue in this episode from start to finish. I mean, look at Playmaker himself. He literally did every summoning method that we've really had in the show. He linked, he ritualed, he exceed, he synchroed, he fusion summoned. So it was pretty crazy all over the map there. I mean, even I added in his own ritual summoning as well. But I want to talk about more, I guess, to start off, the just kind of the sadness that keeps coming out here with I as we get through more of these episodes. Is he really has, I don't know if PTSD, but he has tremendous loss. Tremendous profound sadness from what happened with the other 5 Ignis, and that's affected obviously everything he's done this season, but he's deeply scarred by it. And the more, and as I hoped he would talk about it with Yusaku, it kind of comes out here. So we see throughout the episode that at the beginning he explains more of his plan to Yusaku in saying that, listen, it's as if I'm the last human on Earth. I'm the last survivor of my race, of my species. And he's trying to prolong that in whatever way he can. He's trying to make copies of himself. He doesn't know, as he said previously last episode, he doesn't know what those copies will do. If they'll be beneficial for humans, if they'll help them, if they'll kind of go off and make their own thing on their own. He has absolutely no idea, but he wants to kind of leave a legacy, which is what we've talked about. But in this episode, he reveals to Yusaku that he's not going to be around for that legacy. He will ultimately die no matter how this duel ends. He says that, hey, if he wins, he beats Yusaku, nobody comes back, but he's going to break up all his free will, all of his programming, and he's going to give it to his other copies, and then he will be no more. And then he says, obviously if Yusaku wins, Yusaku will free everyone will come back, and then I will die that way, and he will stop all of the copies. And Yusaku says, this really sad thing. It's one of the real sad moments in the episode, where Yusaku goes, you're choosing how I kill you, how you die. Like, you're making me make that choice. And I basically just says, yeah, I know it's a hard choice, it's a rough decision, but, this is kind of how I wanted to go out with you. This is what Playmaker's former partner wants. And I thought that was kind of like a, touching moment given the circumstances, but more in the sense of, it was like, it invokes so much sadness on me that our I that we knew for the past 2 seasons, he's still in there, and he's just a broken character at this point. And this is his final wish, that he wants to go out. He always wanted to duel Yusaku, and he wants to go out either way. Yusaku will choose the way he dies. So it's kind of different that I'm watching 3 other shows in 5Ds and Duel Monsters and GX, but I haven't obviously finished those yet. But more, I think about villains across all shows, right? They're all about, and Dylan has talked about this, they're all about death and destruction and let's rule the world or all that. I has said he doesn't know what his copies are going to do, okay? So he's not ruling the world there. And then on top of that, he's not ruling it himself. He's not going to be around. He's literally committing suicide. Either way this duel goes. And I thought that was very different for a villain. You don't see that in main villains across any show, especially, according to Dylan, in Yugioh. So I think this show has really done a lot of interesting twists. And it's broke kind of the mold of past shows of when, the whole V-Jump and everything was announced, months early, or whether the show now is ending this month here in September as opposed to when we thought it would end in the spring of 2020. So there's been a lot of different things. It's also the shortest episode, episodes, you know, least amount of episodes in any Yugioh show, at only 120 it's going to be. So there's been a lot of breakings of the mold, but this one I particularly like, is that you never understand before it happens what Ai really is going to do, because you have just this mindset of, this is the typical villain, this is what's going to happen, and he consistently breaks that, and so I really do love that. But the other, obviously, huge moments in the episode, you have, you know, Ai flooding his field. He gets all 6, you know, Ignisters that he gets to come out representing himself and all of his friends. He has this moment where he didn't even realize it until it was all on the field, like what it would look like, what the feelings he would have. And he goes, this is my perfect field. And then as we knew what was coming, since the Bowman duel, when, you know, he summoned the Link 5 and then Yusaku and I summoned a Link 5, we knew we were going to get a Link 6, and it's a perfect kind of metaphor that it was all 6 Ignis. You know, I saw someone comment that, you know, Bowman, he had 5 Ignis, you know, he didn't have I, so he wasn't able to create, you know, the perfect creation. He was missing one of those pieces to make himself whole. And I says in this episode, I've improved on Bowman's programming, and obviously by doing that, then he has himself in the mix, and he's able to create, you know, a Link 6, the Ignister, Cyburst, Arrival. It's kind of a cool design. I like when it comes out that it has like the question mark as the attack points, but then it has all these ridiculous effects, you know. For every card that, you know, makes it, that creates Arrival, it adds 1,000 attacks. So right off the bat, bang, 6,000 attack from the 6 Ignisters. And then you get another 1,000 attacks per card, doesn't matter what the card is, on Ai's field. So then he gets another 4,000 attack for having 4 other cards on his field. And then you immediately, once per turn, destroy a monster of your choosing on your opponent's field. So I think he went after the Cyburst Clock Dragon, he went after, it was the Cyburst or the Quantum. He went after one of Yusaku's dragons, and he destroys that immediately off the bat. And then once you destroy a monster on the opponent's field, now you add a token comes onto the field that, you know, then he summons the Dark Widget or whatever, and that adds, you know, it's another card in your field, so it adds another 1,000 attack. And what he summons, also the Dark Widget or whatever it was, that can't be the subject, that can't be the focus of an attack, so it forces Yusaku to have to attack a rival. So it's a very devious strategy, but it kind of makes sense that you want our hero in Playmaker to go after the main thing, the thing in a rival that represents all kind of 6 Ignis. So I really like that moment, and I like the back and forth that they have between the episode. I mean, for me, the moment of the episode, as I think it was Overfloater, was somehow Yusaku got that to the graveyard, and it has this effect where it negates the other effects of the incoming attack. And so when he has the Cyburst, I think it was the Quantum Dragon or whatever that has the 7,500 attack, when he has that on his field, and the attack goes through, it doesn't work out with the Fire Phoenix the way I thought it was going to, and kind of Saku's Dragon strikes back, and it knocks Ai all the way down to 1,100 life points. And I thought that was a really cool move where we were wondering kind of what he put in the graveyard. I was wondering what he put in the graveyard, and what a kind of a slick move by Yusaku that even I gives him praise for. I'm saying, you know, that was good. Actually, no, that was truly impressive. That I didn't see you do that, and in a way, it almost really killed Ai there, really knocked down his life points. But I says in the beginning of the episode that, hey, you know, now that he's going all out, I need to be on my absolute game. His moves are strong, and I cannot be careless. So you get kind of this inner monologue of Ai, and I think it creates this interesting dynamic going on in this episode, whether it's from the, you know, kind of the theme music going on in the background, the different musical scores that are changing, or just the perspectives of both characters, is they're kind of treating both of Ai and Yusaku as kind of the protagonists, as the main characters, because they have been. Ai has been a main character as well. We're seeing the inside thoughts of each character. You don't see that typically in a lot of shows, and we haven't seen that really that much in VRains, of the villain. of the antagonist. You don't really see a lot of their inner thoughts, or especially you don't see their inner thoughts when they're recognizing that they can't be careless, or they're recognizing that, hey, my opponent's really good, I need to be on top of my game. That's normally something reserved, that role, for the protagonist, for the hero, when he's talking about the villain. So I kind of like that it does that back and forth between Ai and Yusaku. I really love those moments that Ai fully recognizes that, hey, I need to be on my absolute game to beat Yusaku. He wanted him to go all out, and it's the same things he kind of said to Aoi and Zaizen when he was in their duel, of that, like, hey, give me everything. He doesn't want anything hold back, and now we know that he really does have a suicidal wish. Ai does. So it makes complete sense. But more and more I also get sad, just because as these episodes go on, not only the show ending, but Yusaku keeps appealing to Ai. And he keeps telling him, please stop this. Let's talk about it. You don't have to be like the last surviving character, creature of your race. You can go on. And Ai in the beginning of the episode says, oh, just stop being annoying, just duel. But then he also, I think Yusaku realizes that there's literally no way to reach Ai at this point, that now knowing his plan, he's fully into this, he's fully into committing suicide, and that he has to go all out if he wants to save the world, to stop all of Ai's copies from being made. I also like in the episode, like, and I believe this happened in the Bowman duel, is that when Yusaku exes, he kind of piggybacks off of that with a synchro summon. The whole idea is to get the widget kit out there so you could tune it, and then you can get the synchro summon going. And Ai knows, as he says again in this episode, that I know exactly every single move he's gonna do. That's why the overfloater move really surprised him, and it got him out of there, and it kind of got him off his game. I guess other moments for the episode for me were just the ridiculousness sometimes, where you have to get used to Ai's character, right? You have these super serious situations going on, and then he just has these moments where he kind of just breaks the mold of just like ridiculous childlike humor. When he's doing his Link summon, that whole chant that's going on, he stops it because he only has 5 words to describe a rival coming down, and not 6, and he recognizes that, and it kind of like does that whole classic anime, like, where he goes the doom, and has the question marks or like an exclamation point above someone's head. So I thought that was pretty funny, but it also sometimes it kind of aggravates me, and just that Ai's character does that, I guess, to me for the show, is because it kind of breaks the moment where you're so used to these serious moments of what's going on that you have to realize that, yeah, these are aspects to Ai's character, you can't really hate it. Later when Yusaku's doing one of his chants for the synchro, he's counting, and he does like 6 + 1 = 8. So he's like, oh no, I got you in a mistake, but obviously 6 + 1 is 7, and he's doing a Link 7, the Cyberse Quantum Dragon, I believe Yusaku was bringing out. So those little moments for me just kind of break up the episode. And then we get to our kind of final moment of the episode. It was nice, by the way, just to see kind of Firewall Dragon come out with the XE summon. I really did enjoy that. I'm glad to see that card again be on the field for Yusaku. But we get to that final moment where it's revealed that a rival also has an effect where, as long as there's a counter, I assume it's once per turn, on the card, the issue is that it negates all of the opponent's card effects. So the whole idea for Yusaku with the Cyberse Quantum Dragon was to use its effect to return one of the monsters back to its deck that it has original attack points or whatever, is like lower original attack points, like maybe 2300 or whatever it was. And that can't work for a rival. It was a way that Yusaku thought he could deal with a rival, but it didn't work out, because as long as it has a counter, it negates the other card's effects. It negates Cyber Quantum Dragon's effects. And now a rival has the ability to strike back on Yusaku, and that's kind of how the episode ends. So we know Yusaku's not going to die. He's going to have to pull out a few monsters at least on his field to take some of the damage away, or have some kind of trap or spell card. There's got to be something going on. Revolver's card is still in play, so we still don't know what that is. Let me know down below what you think that card could be. But yeah, guys, that's kind of my thoughts here for episode 100. in 18 of VRains, the third to final episode of the show. Let me know what you thought down below. Let me know what you think Revolver's card's going to be. Is it going to be in play either in episode 119 or 120? And would you just think about the dialogue back and forth, of I even saying things like, this time we will truly become one, what he said about the other Ignis, his other buddies, the kind of Bowman and Lightning's plan, what they want, and now I bring it into fruition. Let me know what you thought about that. Their back and forth dialogue, kind of I's plan to commit suicide either way, and Yusaku being the one to choose that. I think it's going to be a fairly interesting kind of finale here of the show as we get with 2 more episodes, and a lot of great duels, a lot of great action and dialogue, even some ridiculous humor, especially when I brings out his own spell and trap cards where, he's featured on the card, like he had I Fighting Spirit was another one that showed up in this episode. So let me know what you think about all that down below. Guys, it was very fun to do a review with you. I hope you like it very much. Dylan, I'm sure, will be back for the final 2 episodes of VRains to review them, so I'm sure if you didn't like my review here, don't worry, he will be coming back. But yeah, guys, thanks for checking out. Stay here, tuned to Yugioh Everything. I think we have a podcast, Into the VRains, coming up later tonight. You should be able to listen to that. And yeah, look, stay tuned for more videos from Dylan and from us here. There's a lot of great content on the channel. I'd love to talk to you all. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. And I guess it wouldn't be a fitting review if I didn't end it as Dylan does. And I hope you have an amazing day. See you guys.